All right, guys, Saturday weekend roundup around the grounds, live with Billy and Glenn, talking the facts, the feelings, and the figures. 1 week out till Christmas. Good afternoon, Glenn.
Good afternoon, Billy, and it's a golden tie day today.
The three kings bring gold, silver, and property.
There's going to be some Christmas jokes and possible puns, but yeah, 1 week out to Christmas. Now that's sort of like the Christmas as deemed by the Roman Catholic Church. We have a lot of people that are Orthodox. Their Christmas is until I think the 6th of January this year.
Yep.
And I'm going to have my Christmas on Monday, 1 week early. I think on Seinfeld, one of the characters started his own Christmas, called it Festivus.
Fair enough.
So we can have 3 at Novac.
Well, it was busy today. Certainly a full day of open homes again. Record for the day, do you know?
I think we had a off-market, pre-market, 151 square metre, 2-bedroom property. We had 12 groups through.
Yep.
We've got maybe 6 interested parties on that, and it will just be working out how to get to the best price.
Yep.
And at this time of year, if we can, we would prefer to get a property unconditionally sold rather than a cool off, because it can get a little bit odd, with solicitors being away. Fortunately, us agents, we're not away. We're open all Christmas, Billy. Really, really excited about that.
I am as well. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of people that still want to find a property. A few vendors that are still convinced that now's a great time to list their property for sale, and we're totally on the same page. So yeah, nice and busy. And as the competition goes to sleep, Novak will play.
Well, that they take a break, but we harp on about this all the time with, looking after 3,500 tenants, looking after maybe 3,000 landlords. To think that you could do that on a mobile phone, one property manager, it's people try it, but it's just not the service you want to give people. Landlords, they pay as a fee to manage the property, and the tenants pay rent and expect us to manage the property and not go on holiday. So we're lucky here that we can rotate our staff, and most of us like coming in over that period.
Yeah, the air conditioning seems to be better in here than it is at home.
Yeah.
And there's generally Christmas cake on the table.
Well, look, and every day the beautiful Lisa Novak's getting a gift from someone, which as she loves her lovely slim figure, good old Glenn gets to eat. So Mark's not too bad too. You get a few presents, Billy. I always get alcohol and I don't drink.
Chocolates are Glenn's favourite choice.
Oh, look, probably green beans and cabbage the way I'm getting at the moment. It's the festival of eating, unfortunately.
But it's a busy period. Open homes are still running as normal. We're open every day outside of the public holidays all the way through. So there's plenty to see and do out there. New listings for the week. There are still properties coming on despite.
Yeah, what did we see last week, Billy?
Well, I think one of my favourites is the one that you mentioned just before.
Sure.
That's quality.
Yeah, look, really, really hard to find a 2-bedroom, 2 parking with a big courtyard in DY. In a double brick construction, but we've got one. We saw some great entry level apartments as always. You've got one coming up. Stavan put one on in Fisher Road.
Yes.
We've got a few houses coming up straight in the new year.
Yep.
So we'll be working through Plan A, Plan B, Plan A pre-market or off-market, Plan B, if not sold, running out to realestate.com and domain.com. And just business as usual. Rentals.
Yeah, another busy week for the team. It astounds me. These guys work long days, and Sienna's doing a great job in bringing in new properties for rent. You know, tenants love that relationship, hearing about the properties first, but it seems like we just can't get properties in quick enough.
Well, there was an article in this week's Sydney Morning Herald that compared, one of your fellow countrymen came out from England and said getting a rental was like being a participant in the Hunger Games,
Yeah.
and you would think that UK it would be difficult, but it is really, really hard. If you're on the Northern Beaches or you're looking to make a move to the Northern Beaches and want to lease a property, I can't recommend more highly just coming into the office, having a coffee. We'll have staff here all through the new year. Just ask, what have you got? Is there anything you can show me today?
Yep.
You don't just wait for that Wednesday, Saturday open for inspection. We might have a tenant move out on a Monday.
Yep.
And you come in Tuesday, and the property's ready to go. We'll take you through. We won't wait, and we'll try to serve you best we can. So having a relationship, if you're obviously not on the beaches, with the property manager or leasing agent, and helping you navigate through that. We always talk about what you need if you've rented before and your tenant ledger for some reason you missed a payment. Over COVID that happened a lot, but they would be distant now. But life gets in the way sometimes. You've got a tax bill, a car blow up, a fridge blow up, and then you've got a medical bill all at once, and you miss the rent for a couple of weeks just because until you get some money. And discuss that.
Yep.
Discuss that, and if the rest of your ledger is great, go from there. That's always important. Have all your documents ready. That always helps as well.
Yeah, and what I will say is a lot of people have been doing short-term rentals. We have seen the gap close between the short-term and long-term rental strategy. So it might be a good time to think about a more long-term plan for your investment property, and some great tenants around.
So let's just unpack that. You're talking about Airbnb and other platforms.
Stays, and using the property for only 3 out of the 3 days of the week, and leaving the property empty for the other half. There's a really good opportunity now to get someone in long term, and we have seen the gap close.
Okay, so what people were doing there was the rent may have been for a long-term tenant $450 a week, and then they could rent it out per night, 3 nights a week for $200 a night, and they were saying, well, I'm making an extra $150. Now we're finding that rent is around $600.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a long-term tenant.
The long-term, your tenants have closed the gap there, and you've got to look at the true costs.
Because you've Airbnb before, haven't you?
I've done both, and I have to say, as a property provider, as a landlord in the marketplace, you've got to look at your true costs, and that breaks down to management fees, maintenance, accommodating a short stay guest. Obviously, over Christmas, it's lovely to do so, and you are getting a premium nightly rate, but it's a lot of work, guys, and you've got to factor in your time, your energy. If you are having someone do this on your behalf, quite often the fees can be double, triple what they are for a long-term tenant. So take that into consideration. Yeah,
I think that's really, you had some really interesting things there, Billy. You're a very interesting young man.
Thank you, Glenn.
In general.
That's why I've got a star on my head right now.
Yeah, you have. I was Employee of the Month, but Billy, you can win it too. But really, really interesting things you discussed there. One thing I really, really liked was you said property provider. And really that's what you are when you're a landlord. You're providing a property, you're providing a service, and you have other people helping it. I think often people look at being a landlord as just an investor. Granted, you invest in the property, but you have human beings living in there. So there is a onus on you really to provide that property in the best way you can. And then with the tenant, if the landlord's doing that, you have a a commitment to be the best tenant you can.
Absolutely.
And I think we move away from that. Like my 20 years in real estate, we really move away from that. Being a property investor is a lot different to investing in shares. Your share portfolio is never going to have a block toilet at midnight or a hot water system that breaks. So always be aware of that as a property provider. Also, what Billy touched on there was just that gap closing and the work you have to do for Airbnb. And what I would say with a lot of legislators in property now, short-term rentals in this housing crisis are really getting on the nose with them.
Yeah.
So you're seeing drafts legislation looking even to close that down further and further.
It's changing a lot. The year ahead, the next 12, 18-month forecast, it's going to get a heck of a lot harder. There's going to be some new taxes imposed potentially on that short-term rental market. So stay tuned. That's a constant changing, legislation minefield there. And I think if you haven't had a rental assessment done on your investment property within 3 or 6 months, it needs to be touched up and redone for you because the market's moved.
Oh, 100%. Get that rental assessment. And you've got to remember our property managers at Novak all have been here longer than 15 years.
Nearly longer than I've been alive, Glenn.
Nearly older than some of my underwear, Billy. But, they do, if you want them to, they will do everything you need to be a property provider. All you'll get at the end of the year is just an annual statement and no grey hairs.
Yeah.
They're that fantastic. And when you compare it, because I remember when Billy was doing short-term rentals on one of his properties and running around at midnight, cleaning things and leaving mints on the pillow and, trying to get that great rating. It was a lot of work. And for someone like Billy with boundless amounts of energy, it's probably all right. But yeah, the yields are getting really quite high now, especially if you purchase pre-2017.
Yeah, so that's something to consider. Snails or sales of the week?
Oh, snails. Well, there were a lot of snails again this week.
There were.
There were some that were cooling off and led over. Lisa, it's like I'm the Lisa fanboy, but Lisa had a great sale in DY Parade. Billy, you were involved in that.
Yeah, a couple of good results. As you say, a few under contract that'll sell next week. What I've noticed is 496 properties on the market for sale now.
And what was the peak this year, would you say?
It's about 750 from when we started sort of counting. That was about 4 months ago now. So it's a big change. It's almost, half. And look, the properties that were sitting around over the last week or two and have been on the market for a little bit longer, they started to get snapped up. And anything new coming to market priced well is getting snapped up.
Once again, showing that though certain sectors of the real estate industry close at Christmas, buyers will buy a property as long as it suits them any time of year.
Yeah.
Realestate.com, we had the rep in the other day, said the highest amount of traffic on the sites over the Christmas period. It's people looking at their phone rather than engaging with their loved ones, I think. But that's, I'm not qualified to talk on that. I'm just a humble agent. But sales going on. DY, really interesting. We focus on that being based in DY. 3 weeks ago, 57 properties on the market. Today, 37. And, we've got 5 or 6 of them that are in a cooling off. So it is a great time to sell over that period, selling in isolation. If you're not on the northern beaches or you don't live close enough for us to drive to and do an open for inspection, and you can't choose us as an agent, that's a bit egotistical, I know, Glenn. But, a great question to ask an agent is, how many properties are on the market, in my area?
Yeah.
And what does that mean with competition?
Yeah.
because that's how you work out your strategy on how to sell.
Definitely.
You know, lots and lots of properties on the market. It may be a price strategy that's really attractive.
Yes.
Heaps of advertising. Fewer properties, you might be a bit bullish. So we'll wait and see. Now the question, community announcements, Billy. What's your community announcement this week?
Well, I think as that background suggests, I'm going that way. It's a flip screen. And it looks like we've got some speckled snow just here.
Yeah.
1 week out till Christmas, double demerits.
When does that start?
Public holidays, I think we should be careful at all parts, you know, on the road. But yeah, extra careful over that Chrissy New Year period, Boxing Day. Don't be drink driving, you know, just be a hero and, you know, spend the night if you can, or arrange other alternatives. But
Billy, are you asking for an invitation? Is it someone you're talking out there in social media land?
lean on your friends and family for a lift.
Oh, very quiet on that one.
Yeah, so that's something to be made aware of. Obviously, enjoy your Chrissy period. I think the sales are wrapping up and then starting back up for the.
Well, I think you know, for a lot of people with the cost of living, maybe having a stay-at-home vacation on the northern beaches. You know, if you've got a drive here, you know, you can still get some street parking, and there's lots of things you can do for free.
Yeah.
There's a fantastic walk up to Palm Beach Lighthouse.
Yep.
Even DY has a great walk up to the Long Reef Headland and has views similar to what you'd see in Hawaii. North Head, once again, can go up there, watch the start of the Sydney to Hobart on Boxing Day, walk around Manly, you know, down at the Corso there. Fantastic fun. Billy, he likes swimming up at Mona Vale. He loves the hot showers up there, young Billy. I don't know what goes on up there, but that's what he said to me. Other things, Billy, because you went through a period where, you know, you were watching every cent when you were saving for your deposit, and I know you're still pretty good with your funds now. You know, interest rates have gone up a lot since you've purchased. What are some free things to do on the northern beaches you'd recommend to people?
Well, the most obvious is obviously the beach, the parks. They're my two favourites. That's where I spend a lot of my time. Look, if you can as well, take the opportunity over the next few days to get out of Sydney. If you haven't been up to somewhere like Port Stephens or Newcastle, there's some great spots. Only an hour or two. Blue Mountains, a new walking trail or a new beach. Doesn't cost a cent.
Well, often when you do like a stay vacation where you're staying at home, you got the kids. You know, get on the internet. 10 best things to do in Sydney for free.
Yeah.
10 best things to do on the northern beaches for free, just as if you were a tourist on a budget somewhere else, and you'll be quite surprised. And you know, if you're coming over to the northern beaches and you want to, you know, come in for a coffee, we'll be open every day. Love to have you. Get a photo, go on our social media. Pleasure's ours.
Glenn, signing off. What are you doing over the weekend?
Well, I've got some Sunday specials tomorrow, so I'm just trying to squeeze out. I'd love to squeeze out another couple of sales for my owners, let them go into Christmas without that question from, you know, Auntie Margaret. How are you going? Have you sold yet? And they go, yeah, we sold, all good. And what was the price? Oh, the agent said keep it confidential. It was so good. You know, I love getting that for people so they don't have the inquisition. So we'll be working tomorrow. You're working tomorrow, Billy?
I've got one in Mossman, and that's it actually. Tomorrow.
Yeah, and then North Kilcoyle Surf Club, I think, for dinner. A little bird told me, Billy, I'll let it out. You know, I don't want 1,000 people going there for autographs, but a little bird told me you're at Harbord Hilton.
Yes, pop down there. I'll be down there for at least one beer.
Oh, come on.
Just this afternoon.
Well,
a nice way to finish up.
I've heard you going with Xanthony, beautiful Xanthony, single who loves to mingle. And I think it'll be more than one or two. But if you're down at Harbord Hilton, keep an eye on Billy. send him home when the street lights come on.
Thanks, Glenn. Guys, have a good weekend. And if you need anything real estate, we're back on the ground tomorrow. Here to help.
Cheers.